Hi, I'm Lexi. Let's talk about Lights Out by Navessa Allen. Forewarning, this is a very spicy, dark romance book, so do keep in mind the trigger warnings. They are listed at the beginning of the book and the audiobook as well. So we do have two main characters, the first one being Allie. She is a nurse and she's a trauma nurse at like an ER, so she sees some crazy stuff, so of course that involves the trigger warnings as well. Our other main character is this guy Josh, and Josh is a very interesting character. His dad was a serial unaliver and he looks exactly like his dad, so he spends a lot of his time being mostly anonymous. But he does have a significant TikTok influence where he does masked thirst traps. So he wears like a mask, fake blood and stuff, and all kinds of other things, and posts thirst traps, and has a significant following doing this. Not only that, but he's also a hacker, and he can hack into almost anything as well. Josh struggles a lot with his mental illness and like his past and everything, understandably so. But he ends up really falling for Allie before she even really realizes who he is. But Allie is a huge fan of this masked TikToker. Eventually, it does lead to stalking. So keep in mind, like I said, there are many trigger warnings. Most of the book is consensual, maybe except for a few minor things. But definitely keep that in mind going into this novel. I had a lot of fun reading this one. I listened to it on audiobook, and the narrators for both characters are absolutely amazing. I think they did a magnificent job. I thought the book itself was very interesting. I gave it 3 stars because it was very entertaining. However, it definitely was like very close to crossing a line for me at more than one occasion. So I did almost DNF this one. While I loved Butcher and Blackbird, it does have very similar vibes, but I do feel like this one is almost specifically more comedy than Butcher and Blackbird is, and I think that did a lot for me to keep listening and reading to this book. I do think that the book was very well written. The reason why I gave it 3 stars was because it was pushing my personal boundaries. This is not a book that I would ever read again. However, I did really enjoy listening to it the first time. But if you know me, I tend not to reread a lot of novels, especially like when it comes to romance novels. Once I've read a romance novel, I'm usually like, yeah, I'm good. I've read it. I know what happens. I don't need to read it again, you know? But yeah, I gave this one 3 stars. I hope you enjoyed if you pick it up, and I hope you have a great day.